Hello, Eurovision friends. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. Today, I want to give you my top 20, my current top 20 of Eurovision 2024, because believe it or not, we already have 20 songs that will be competing in Malmö for the big Eurovision crown. And I want to give you my opinion, and I'm going to talk about the songs that I didn't do rating videos on as well. So this might be interesting. Quick disclaimer, this is my personal subjective opinion. I'm not saying that the songs that I put lower in the ranking are bad. They just don't work for me personally, so don't take it too seriously. In 20th position at the moment, I have Aiko with Pedestal, mostly because of the subpar performance in the national final. The vocals weren't working. The performance itself doesn't really elevate the song, I think. And I think if they can kind of work this out and find a good staging for this, and also a choreography that lets her breathe and lets her really sing the song the way that it's supposed to be sung, this could be higher in my ranking, because as a song, I don't think it's bad at all. It's a good mainstream English pop song, and if you know me, you know that's not what makes me love Eurovision particularly, but the song itself isn't that bad, so it could be higher in the ranking with a better performance. In 19th place, I have Sara Bonici with Loop. I mean, this is a song very obviously composed for a performance, and I don't personally like these kinds of songs with these very big dance breaks. It's kind of chopped up, it seems to me. The performance is impressive, the choreography is impressive. I think it's good how well she sings with all the acrobatics that she does, but the song itself is just not for me. There are some cheap sound effects as well, and just having this very big dance break in the middle that kind of breaks up the song, and it kind of doesn't stay in my head either, so that's why it's number 19. In 18th place, I have Saba with Sand. I think this is quite generic. The lyrics are very generic to me. Like, it's slipping through my fingers. We build a castle out of sand. And then the fact that sand is repeated so many times. And the focus of the vocal performance is kind of on the word sand. And I kind of don't understand that. That's why it's in 18th position. Someone asked me, well, why do you like La Noia if she repeats that word so many times in the song as well? But there it kind of works, and it kind of makes sense to put the focus of the song on that word. Here, it doesn't, to me. And it kind of also underlines the fact that the lyrics are a bit generic to me. So, in 17th position, I have Natalia Barbu in the middle. I have not done a video on this song yet, probably won't do one. I like it in a way. I think the vocals are a bit too piercing. I think it is, again, a mainstream English pop song, even though I think this song should have been in the national language and not in English, because you hear a few grammatical errors as well, and I don't like that. And the performance is all right. It kind of stands out as a performance, but it's a bit boring that they're just standing there. I do like the clapping, but it also seems a little bit pretentious with the violins, and so it is not one of my favorites. Then we have Isaac and Always on the Run, representing Germany. And this is, I'm saying representing Germany because this is the typical song that we send to Eurovision, mainstream English pop. Won't hurt anyone. No one will be like, oh, this is not nice, I don't want to listen to this. But no one will be like, wow, this is amazing, I think. I do think that he has a great vocal performance. He did a great vocal performance. The song is kind of catchy, but in the end, it will be lost in a sea of other songs like it, I think. And to me personally, I do like it in a way. I can listen to it, but it's not a song that makes me go, that makes my heart beat faster. Let's put it like that. Then in 15th position, and I'm a little bit like almost embarrassed that it's so high up, Windows 95 Man, No Rules, mostly because of the performance, obviously. I mean, there is a catchy pop song in there somewhere in the poppy parts of the song that is actually catchy and that was stuck in my head after the national final in Finland. but the performance of this was just making me laugh, and I like that. And that makes it stand out when you compare it to the other songs that are lower on this list. It's just something different, at least. It's not necessarily a good song, but it's an enjoyable performance. Then in 14th position, I have Luna with The Tower. This has grown on me a little bit. I don't really know why. Again, mainstream English pop song. I do think her vocals are making this stand out, even though me personally, I don't like these kinds of vocals that have a bit of a baby voice almost to it, but it makes it stand out. And I don't really know why, but there's something intriguing about this. I think it's the tension between her look and her fashion and the sweet sounding song, because that doesn't really go together in my head, and that kind of makes it intriguing to me. So that's my opinion on this. In 13th position, I have Dons with Hollow. I predicted that this would qualify. I am now seriously doubting that, because I think it's just a bit too uneventful, maybe, to make it out of a televote-only semifinal. But here I'm talking about my opinion. I do love his voice. I do like the song as a whole, but for this to be higher up, it would have needed something a bit more oomph, a bigger climax, something more happening in the song, and that's why it's my number 13. But his voice is one of the best, I think, in the competition. Then we have Bambi Thug and Doomsday Blue in 12th position. I like the contrast, the very big contrast between the heavy metal parts, the very dark heavy metal parts, and then this sweet pop sound, which works with the lyrics, and especially these poppy parts and this weird dance with the backing dancers makes this intriguing to me. Again, a little bit like with Luna and The Tower. I don't know what it is, but I like watching the performance, and it kind of makes me want to watch it again, and that's a good thing. But as a song, I don't really listen to it on my Spotify playlist because it's just a bit too out there for me personally. In 11th position, we have Besa with Sembrendor, and I just read that they are planning to do a revamp, which we know that Albania usually does this, but they're also going to change it into English. I think that is a mistake, actually, because I think the national language in this case works really, really well, and it makes it stand out. If you change this song into English, I think it will be lost in a sea of other English songs that are kind of like it. I do like the song, and I like the lyrics, so in a way it's good that they will be translated to a bigger audience. And it is catchy, but if you, as I said, if you change it into English, I think it will lose a bit of its charm. And so we'll see what they do with it. Maybe it will be better, but I have a feeling that this might be the best position for this song in my ranking up until now and for the rest of the season, really. Then in 10th position, this might be a bit controversial because a lot of people love this song a lot, and I do like it. I think, as I've said before, many different parts that are good in themselves, pop parts, choral parts, rap parts, that all come together seamlessly in a way and really make a good song, a catchy song, a song that has a different feel to it and that creates an atmosphere. Just something happened that this is going down a bit for me. I don't know really what it is. The lyrics irk me a little bit. That might be part of it, but it's not as outstanding as I thought it was when it first came out to me anymore. But if you've seen my prediction, I still think that this is the biggest contender we have up until now for the Eurovision win. So that shows you that this is my opinion and the prediction. I'm trying to be more objective. Still, two great artists and a good song. This might also be a bit controversial. This was my number 3 in my last video. And I have seen the Dora performance, live performance, and she was amazing vocally. It was very, very good. But again, something in the song has kind of cooled, in my personal opinion. I still love that this is telling a story from the Middle Ages. That is amazing. I do also think it's kind of catchy, but when you compare it to the other songs that have come out, it's just not as impressive to me anymore. So this is why it's my number 9 at the moment. In 8th position, we have Luktelk, Sylvester Belt. Very catchy song, incredibly modern staging and very good staging, which is almost Eurovision ready. I also like his distinct look, his disengaged vocals with this. The message of the song is good. It's in Lithuanian, which is always a plus for me, as is, by the way, that Raven song is in Slovenian. And the catchiness of it is why it's so high up on the list. I think I have it stuck in my head a lot, actually. And I like this song. Gorta and Ulveham is my number 7. I have warmed to this performance a little bit, and that's why it has kind of stayed in its position, even though more new songs have come out. I was a bit overwhelmed by the performance at first because there's obviously a lot happening, a lot of strobe effects, a lot of intercutting, but especially these nature images that are part of the performance make me really appreciate the song more and more, and the performance especially. And also doing the lyric interpretation for the song kind of helped me understand what the song is about more. And again, I love that they are telling a 1,000-year-old medieval story in a modern song and kind of trying to send a modern message, I think. And so that is why it's my number 7. And the vocal performance is also very impressive, very distinct, and something that we haven't heard a lot in Eurovision at all, really. Yeah, sorry, but 5 Minuten and Pulup is my number 6. This was, as I've said, in my bottom 5 when I did my ranking video of Eesti Laul. I don't understand why I didn't recognize what this is, but this is so incredibly catchy. It is so distinct and different. I kind of like the lyrics as well. They're tongue-in-cheek. The performance is just fun and entertaining to watch, this dissonance between them wearing the suits and what they are doing. It's a bit like We Are the Winners, the Lithuanian entry in 2006, I want to say. And it is stuck in my head constantly, this song. And I also love that it has country elements. You know that I like country music, and especially the start. And also the beat is very engaging. Well, you notice that I do like the song a lot. And I like listening to it as well, which I didn't think would happen, but it did. In 5th position, maybe surprising to some, I have Tali and Fighter. This has remained in this position because I love the hooks. I love that it's kind of easy listening, and it's kind of relaxing, and it's kind of a mainstream English pop song, even though it's in French. But there's something about it that I really, really like. And it's a song that I like listening to, and I don't have to concentrate on it, but it is just good the way it is. And I love that it has this French feel as well. It sounds very much like a French song, and I like that. I do think they have to work a lot on the staging and on the outfit, because I don't really feel like it works with this kind of song. I get a summery feel. That's what I wanted to say too. A summery feel when listening to this song, which in the winter we have at the moment here is very helpful. And that might also be why it's so high up in the ranking. And so I hope that they come up with a more summery staging for this, to be honest. In 4th position, I have Musti, Before the Party's Over. And this is quite a big deal because when it first came out, as I've said in my rating video, I didn't get it at all, really. I couldn't really connect to it, but then at some point it clicked and I really got into the song. I love his yearning that he has in his vocals, but also in the way he moves his body and his facial expressions. Really good. I like that the song takes its time to build towards the climax, which makes the climax more interesting, I think. And more of an event in a song that in the first 2 minutes is kind of subdued. And before I thought that was a problem, and that's why I couldn't get into the song. But now that is why I think the song will not be a song that I will grow tired of. And that's an important part of Eurovision. I like the lyrics. Every time I kind of listen to it, I hear something a little bit different. And that's also a great thing to say about a song. And so that is why it is my number 4. In 3rd position, I have Nebulosa and Sora. Tongue-in-cheek, funny lyrics combined with a good song, really. I've said before that the song is kind of uneventful and there's not that much happening, but I kind of noticed that it is actually good. The interjections of the word Sora make it catchy, and it just makes me smile when I listen to it on Spotify, when I watch the performance, it doesn't really matter whether I just hear it, whether it's just an audio experience or whether it's also a visual experience. And that kind of confirms to me that this is one of my favorite songs in this Eurovision season. So that's why it's my number 3. In second place, and now you also know my first place if you're a big fan, is Angelina Mango with La Noia. And it was kind of a fight between number 1 and number 2, but something happened this weekend that confirmed my number 1. For my number 2, I just think that this is an entry that only Italy could send, I think. The lyrics, as we've come to expect, are philosophical about human existence, about so many things, really. And it is combined with a song that is catchy, enjoyable, entertaining, but it also seems so fresh. It's not like something that we've heard before, like some of the songs that are lower in this ranking. It's just different and interesting, and you kind of discover something new every time you listen to it. And then you add to that her incredible performance of it. And actually, when I walk, for example, and I listen to the song and I walk or work out, there's something that happens that makes you want to move to the song. And there's a spunk to it, to her performance and her singing, that just makes you feel powerful in a way. And I love that about the song. And that is why it's my number 2. And this feeling that you have to move to it, you also see it in her performance, because it's not a choreographed dance that she does, like Malta, for example. It is spontaneous and youthful and fresh every single time she performs it. And the song is kind of made for that. It makes you want to move in that way. And so that is why it's my number 2. I always think especially hard on the Italian songs, because I do think that I have a bit of a bias towards Italian songs. And this one wasn't even in my top 5 of Sanremo, but it has grown on me a lot since then. And so I think it deserves to be in my number 2 spot. That means that my number 1 is Slimane and Mon Amour. It was my number 1 in the top 10 video. And I said that something happened this weekend, and that is his performance in the Croatian national final, Dora. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It is incredible. He has a good outfit on, I think, a leather jacket that kind of makes this feel a bit more modern. People have said that the song is a bit boring and is kind of a French entry by the numbers, and that's a little bit true. But he just elevates the song with the performance to a level that just makes me fall in love with it over and over again every time I see him perform it. This is kind of also my thing, I have to say. It's really my cup of tea, my lane musically. But in the Croatian national final, for a time, he stands like 2 meters away from the microphone, and you still hear his very impressive vocal performance. It creates a soundscape with a bit of echo. It kind of seems like a prayer almost. And he infuses so much drama and emotion into this performance. It is just incredible. You have to watch it. It gave me goosebumps. And if he performs it like this at Eurovision, I think we are in for a surprise. I mean, I predict this to do really, really well, but people are kind of sleeping on it, I feel like. And he just makes me feel things every time I listen to the song. And the song itself also grows on me more and more. So this definitely deserves my number 1 spot. That is my current top 20 of Eurovision 2024. Let me know your top 20 in the comments of the video. Please subscribe to the channel to see my top 30 soon. And then, there's lots of other stuff as well, lyric interpretations, rating videos of some of the songs, and lots more to discover. So please subscribe, and I'll see you for my next one. See you then, and bye-bye.